Hey everybody, welcome back again to Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy, where the proof is in the singing. I am having an absolute blast doing these isolated vocal tracks with these incredible legends. Next up is Tom Kiefer, the band is Cinderella. The song is called Nobody's Fool. But before we get there, if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm coming up on 1 million subs, so I'd love to get to that 1 million mark soon. But with that said, I've got Tom queued up, and what's really cool about Tom is, there's a lot of influence, and everybody has influence. We're going to talk more about this as we go, but there's certainly like somewhere between AC/DC and, believe it or not, like I almost hear some kind of Fastway in there. I hear some Crocus. I hear, Zaxxon, like all these kind of different influences. And of course, Tom is Tom, so I'm not trying to sound like that. Maybe a little on the AC/DC side for that, but a bigger, rounder sound where he's got a lot more girth and pulling up chest in the sound. But before we get started, if you wouldn't mind, please like and subscribe to my channel. And I have a singing course. The course is called How to Sing Better Than Anyone Else. You can find it right here at Ken Tamplin Vocal Academy for you guys interested in wanting to learn to sing. And I have a singing forum over there with 25,000 singers all talking about this stuff. I want to dive right in. So here is Tom, and again, just a phenomenally talented guy. Oh, before my understanding, I could be wrong, so correct me on this, but my understanding is how Tom Kiefer was found first is that Bon Jovi's parents were at, I believe, a wedding reception that Tom was playing at. And they called John and said, "John, man, you got to hear this guy. I'm telling you straight up." Now, I know if my parents were to call me, they're not alive, but if they were, I'd be like, "Yeah, right, Mom, Dad, okay. How many other people are you going to recommend?" But John listened, and I guess kind of a little bit took him under his wing, and early on helped him get a record deal. And then Cinderella became Cinderella, and the rest is history. But little backstory, how people get noticed. Anyway, let's dive in. Here we go.
I count the falling tears, they fall before my eyes. Seems like 1,000 years since we broke the ties.
Now, I've gone, so there's a lot of nasality in the sound, but that's actually kind of his thing, is to bring everything right here and now, right? But he's got, "I'm my body's fool, shake me," or independence, right? So, we've got Shake Me, Somebody Save Me, all those kind of songs. And they're very kind of rhythmically AC/DC driven, but they're really powerful in the upper mid voice. And the guy just really crushes it when it comes to upper mid voice. I would have liked to have heard him take better care of his voice along the way, because I know he's struggling a little bit with his voice now, and I miss the fact that we had all these really great iconic singers I wish they were continuing to sing like this even into their 50s and 60s. I teach that, by the way, in my singing course, so let's continue. Check it out again. Here we go.
I count the falling tears, they fall before my eyes. Seems like 1,000 years since we broke the ties. I call you on the phone, but never get a rise. So sit there all alone. It's time you realize I'm not.
So sit there on the phone. It's time you realize. He's got that really great. Now, if you listen closely to me, I could be wrong, but it sounds like he's mixing the sound and bringing it down kind of low, and that's how he's able to get to, this girthy, pulling, kind of chesty sort of sound in it. Listen closely.
So sit there all alone. It's time you realize I'm not your fool. Nobody's fool. Nobody's fool. I'm no fool. Nobody's fool. Nobody's fool.
Yeah. Did you hear that? I'm no fool. His so it doesn't sound, it doesn't sound like that, like real shouty and screamy. It sounds real mixed voicey, like he's pulling his head voice down into the mix. Now, I do that a lot, especially on, Rob Halford does that a lot. In fact, most of his high range stuff is really all just reinforced falsetto he brings down. I proved that in songs like Painkiller, for example, where I actually sang it as a belted chest sound. I was challenged to do it, actually, when the whole song is really sung in falsetto, reinforced falsetto. So it was very hard to sing that as a belted chest. I could have gone back and done a falsetto thing, and it would have been much easier than trying to pull that much chest in the sound. But anyway, I want to pull back in before I do this. So I want to bring in the band because I want you to hear it with the group because it sounds pretty stinking cool. Check it out.
I count the falling tears, they fall before my eyes. Seems like 1,000 years since we broke the ties.
Now, to me, this could be a Def Leppard song. You know what I mean? It's that good, or the Def Leppard's this good. I don't know how you want to say it, but you can almost hear somewhere Armageddon. You've got all the minor key stuff. The Scorpions. I mean, it's got all that flavor of a really well-crafted minor key song going into a really well-crafted minor key chorus, like the Scorpions, etc. So let's continue.
I call you on the phone, but never get a rise. So sit there all alone. It's time.
Now, couldn't you hear that being a Def Leppard piece? Like I said, like Armageddon, or just whatever, like one of the minor key Zeppelin tunes, like maybe Hysteria, or whatever. And then when it gets to the chorus, then to me it kind of enters into that Bon Scott, Brian Johnson-y kind of heavy distorted head voice sort of sound in the chorus. Check it out. Oops, here we go.
So sit there all alone. It's time you realize I'm not your fool. Nobody's fool. Nobody's fool.
All right, so let's continue.
I'm no fool. Nobody's fool.
Cool. Let's move on. Here we go. Ta-da!
You take your road, I'll take mine. The paths have both been beaten. Searching for a change of pace. Life needs to be sweetened.
Now, yeah, we're a laugh without the tears, hope without the fears. We are coming. Right? Doesn't it kind of have a little bit of the Dio vibe in that too? Listen to it again. Check it out. Like I'm not saying he's doing that because I don't know what all of his influences are, but I hear that beautiful, round, fat, bring it on home sort of sound. One more time. Check it out.
You take your road, I'll take mine. The paths have both been beaten.
Yeah.
Searching for a change of pace. Life needs to be sweetened. I scream my heart out just to make.
I scream my heart out. Right? He's got. Right? Now, for you guys out there that want to know how to do this, by the way, if we worked on a reinforced falsetto, scream my, like he's not pulling it up like that. You can hear there's not that much tension and there's not that much mass being pulled up in the throat. He does have a naturally high voice and there's that too, but it's, I scream mine. Right? Now, let me show you something real quick. I know it's obnoxious, but hold on a second. Let me just do this. I'm going to pull this up real quick. So, and I'm not even double, but I scream my nobody's fool. Yeah! Right. Okay, take this off here. Pull this back. Here we go. That was impromptu. I wasn't planning on doing that. But I just wanted to show you that effects play a huge role in the fatness of that sound. And if you go back and you listen to some of the earlier stuff, you can hear, or some of the stuff that's not this produced, you can hear that the voice isn't as big as this is here because it's a really great produced track. Anyway, let's continue. Here we go.
I scream my heart out just to make a dime.
I love just to make a dime. He's really melodramatic there. Check it out. I didn't know that until I listened back to this isolated.
My heart out just to make a dime. And with that dime I bought your love. But now I've changed my mind. I'm not your fool. Nobody's fool. Nobody's fool. I'm no fool. Nobody's fool.
And you can hear that on I'm no fool. You can hear that it's definitely a reinforced head voice there. So for you guys out there that all these years thought that these guys had all this killer range, they're just high range singers, some of them are, but there's also, like I cover this thoroughly in my singing course, there's a technique as a baritone, like myself, you can tell I have a really low voice, can get up into these registrations safely, healthfully over time if you do it right. And me singing into my late 50s, I'm 57, I'll be 58 this year, but be able to pull off this kind of sound consistently, without hurting yourself. So anyway, let's continue.
Nobody's fool, nobody's fool. I'm no fool. Nobody's fool, nobody's fool.
Cool.
Nobody's fool, nobody's fool. I'm no fool. Nobody's fool, nobody's fool.
Okay, let's listen to the next line.
I count the falling tears, they fall before my eyes. Seem like 1,000 years since we broke the ties.
That's a weird harmony. Ties! Ties! I think that was lower. Ties! Ties! Right, it's kind of an odd harmony. Let's check it out.
1,000 years since we broke the ties.
Right, and it's not really that spot on, but in the mix it sounds cool. Check it out. So the band covers up a little bit of the intonation there and covers a multitude of sin, if you ask me. All right, let's continue. Here we go. Can't you say what you will, and you will. Right? It's got that cool, a lot of bands in the 80s were really going after that sound, and Tom mastered it big time. It's kind of a bummer because, to be honest, they were really underrated. And yeah, they had their heyday, and it was fairly short, all of the 80s, so I don't know how short that is. But I just think he was such a talented writer and a talented guy. It would have been great to hear 20 years of that success rather than just 10. But whatever happened in, the late 80s when Kurt Cobain and Nirvana came in and, the Seattle sound happened, it just uprooted all those bands that were just really writing great songs like this. You know what I mean? And again, there were some really good minor key songs written at this time, and this is certainly one of them. But here we go. Check it out. Now let's do that together. No! In fact, let me give myself the benefit of a little bit of what he has. So hold on. Give me a second. Almost done. Ready? No! Had to do that. So, but anyway, that's just a reinforced falsetto. No, you can get hooty and fluty. Make it a little brighter. No, a little brighter still. No, get that strength going from the abdomen, baby. No, right, and then you can lean into that sound with a little distortion, and that is the sound. Okay, put a little doubler behind it, some other little more effects and so forth. A little harmonizer too. It sounds like. But check it out one more time.
No, nobody's fool, nobody's fool. I'm no fool. Nobody's fool, nobody's fool. I'm no fool. Nobody's fool, nobody's fool. I'm no fool. Nobody's fool, nobody's fool. Nobody's fool.
Now that just repeats. You get the chorus to repeat a couple times. But anyway, gang, I am just having a really good time doing this. I'm hopefully showing you some stuff that'll help you along your journey for singing or just your interest in singing altogether. And definitely stick around for my next video.